Find me a more iconic thriller movie.
Ugh.
Seriously.
Eh.
I'll wait. You think about Jaws, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That scene when the shark finally appears, the music from John Williams, it's just, let's cult viewing.
It really is, even now.
Yeah, okay, maybe it feels a bit dated compared to modern stuff. Lacks maybe the raw shock it had 50 years back.
Sure, tastes change.
But you just can't deny Spielberg's mastery of tension in that film. Its impact is, well, undeniable.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how that cultural impact stretches way beyond just film history. This year, it's the 50th anniversary.
Very 50 years, wow.
And Seiko, the watchmaker, they're celebrating it with a pretty surprising connection, a special limited edition watch.
You got it. And that's what we're diving into today, the Seiko Prospex Jaws 50th Anniversary Limited Edition. It's the SRPL81.
Often called the King Turtle Diver.
Exactly, the King Turtle. So our mission here is to really unpack how this watch isn't just like Jaws themed, but how it actually captures the spirit of the movie. And maybe more importantly, what does this release tell us about, pop culture meeting watchmaking, Seiko's strategy, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's an interesting intersection.
So first things first, how on earth does a watch capture the essence of a giant man-eating great white shark? Let's unpack that.
Well, like you hinted, the Jaws connection is it's pretty obvious and very visible, mostly on the dial.
Okay.
So it's got this bicolor gradient thing going on. It shifts from like a bright silver near the top down to this deep, quite ominous blue at the bottom.
Right.
And layered on that is this deeply embossed pattern.
Embossed, like textured.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a direct visual cue from Roger Castell's original movie poster. You know the one?
Oh, absolutely. Iconic.
It depicts that sort of ripping water look, like the surface being broken and the shark, jaws wide open, coming up from the sea.
Wow. So it's not subtle then. It's right there telling the story on your wrist. That's pretty clever.
It really is. And then there's the Jaws logo itself, also embossed.
Modeled
Precisely after the movie font. And it's picked out in this really striking red, which adds a slightly unsettling touch, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit of danger there.
Right. And this whole theme, it continues onto the caseback, too.
Okay, what's back there?
You've got an etching of the Orca, the fishing boat. And alongside it, the shark's dorsal fin cutting through the water. It keeps that narrative going.
Nice.
Even the whole package. It comes in a special box, themed Jaws 50th anniversary logo, and the watch pillow itself is printed with the movie poster.
Huh. So it's a whole experience right from the unboxing.
Definitely. They've really thought about the presentation.
That's impressive attention to detail for a movie tie-in. Really pulls you into that world. Okay, but let's shift gears a bit. Beyond the Jaws stuff, let's talk about the watch itself. The King Turtle.
Right.
For someone who maybe isn't a huge Jaws fan but appreciates a good dive watch, what does this King Turtle designation mean? What sets it apart?
Okay, yeah, good question. So the King Turtle, it basically takes the classic, much-loved Seiko turtle design.
Known for that cushion-shaped case, right?
Exactly, that distinctive shape. It keeps most of those emblematic design features, but it really kicks things up a notch. It adds robustness, modern features, mainly by using contemporary sort of higher-end materials. Right. You still get that familiar cushion case shape, hence the turtle nickname, brushed and polished stainless steel. And the crown's at 4 o'clock, which is pretty typical for Seiko Prospex divers. Helps keep it comfy on the wrist.
Right, doesn't dig in. And speaking of comfort, how does it wear? These cushion cases can sometimes feel quite large.
It is a fairly substantial watch, no doubt. It measures 45 millimeters across.
Okay, yeah, that's not small.
And 13.2 millimeters thick, but the key thing is the lug-to-lug measurement.
Ah, the important one for wearability.
Exactly. It's only 47.7 millimeters, which is actually quite contained for a case this wide, so it tends to wear, surprisingly well on a lot of wrists. It doesn't overhang too much.
That makes sense. And durability. It is a Prospex diver after all.
Oh, yeah. Proper dive watch specs here. You get 200 meters of water resistance, supported by a screw-down crown and a solid steel caseback. Standard stuff for a serious diver.
Okay. But you mentioned upgrades making it king. What are those specific material upgrades? What makes this turtle a king turtle?
Right. This is where it earns the king part of the name. So unlike a standard turtle, this one swaps out the Hardlex crystal.
Seiko's proprietary mineral glass.
Correct. It swaps that for a sapphire crystal.
Right.
Much more scratch resistant.
Big difference in daily wear.
Huge difference. Sapphire is what you usually find on more premium watches. It gives better clarity too and just holds up better over time. And this sapphire crystal also has a magnifier, a cyclops lens, over the day-date window.
Makes the date pop a bit more. Easier to read.
Exactly. A little practical touch.
So sapphire crystal, that's a key upgrade. What about the bezel? Is that part of the king treatment too?
Absolutely. The bezel insert is also upgraded. It's ceramic.
Ah, nice. Scratch resistant again.
Very scratch resistant, and it has that nice glossy look. Plus, ceramic doesn't really fade over time like aluminum can. It's got a loomed pip or pearl at 12.
Standard dive feature.
Yep. And it's unidirectional, of course, clicks one way only for safety during dives. The edge has this sort of square-like pattern for grip.
Good for using with wet hands or gloves.
Precisely. And for this Jaws edition, the ceramic insert is this glossy, dark blue, which ties back beautifully to that maritime theme, the deep water on the dial.
It all sounds very cohesive. A definite step up in materials and feel.
It really is. It feels more premium than the standard turtle, for sure.
Okay, so we've covered the outside, the looks, the Jaws bits, the materials. Let's get under the hood. What's powering this king turtle? What movement are we talking about?
Inside, you've got the caliber 4R36. This is Seiko's, well, kind of their entry level, but incredibly robust and reliable automatic movement.
The workhorse.
Pretty much, yeah. It runs at 3 Hertz, which means the second hand beats 6 times per second. Gives it a nice smooth sweep.
And power reserve.
About 41 hours. So, pretty standard. You can take it off Friday night, put it back on Sunday morning, and it should still be running.
Handy. Any other features? Hacking? Hand winding?
Yep, both. It has a quick set day and date function, so you can adjust those easily without spinning the hands round and round. And it has hacking the second hand stops when you pull the crown out to set the time. Allows for precise synchronization.
All really practical features for, just actually using the watch day to day.
Definitely. It's a solid, reliable engine.
And on the dial itself, for actually telling the time, especially if it gets dark. Or, you're underwater fighting a shark.
Well, hopefully not the latter. But yes, legibility is good. Both the embossed hour markers and the hands are filled generously with Lumi Bright.
Seiko's limb, usually pretty strong.
Yeah, it glows brightly and lasts quite well. The day-date window is still there at 3 o'clock. And there's a small but actually quite important detail for its dive watch credentials. There's a little loomed marker right next to the date window.
Why is that important?
It's part of meeting the ISO 6425 standard for dive watches. Basically means every required marker for timing is loomed, even the one at 3 o'clock next to the date. It confirms it's passed rigorous testing for professional diving use.
Ah, okay, so it's not just styled like a diver. It actually is a proper certified dive watch.
Exactly right. It's got the credentials.
And wrapping up the package, what about the strap? What is it?
It comes fitted on a blue silicone strap. Pretty comfortable, flexible.
Makes sense for a dive watch, water-resistant, durable.
Yep, exactly. And it's got a standard stainless steel pin buckle, practical and secure, matches the whole tool watch vibe.
Okay, so this sounds like a really interesting mix of movie tribute and serious watch specs. Now, if someone's listening and thinking, okay, I kind of want that, how easy is it to get? I imagine it's limited, right?
That's correct. This Seiko Prospex Jaws 50th anniversary, the SRPL81, it is a limited edition.
I love it.
They're making only 5,000 pieces for the entire world.
Okay, so not super rare, but definitely not mass-produced. You'll need to seek it out.
Right. And availability is sort of specific, too. It's being sold through Seiko boutiques and certain selected retailers, but only in Japan, the U.S., Australia, and Taiwan.
Interesting regional focus there. And the price? What are we looking at?
The retail price is set at $795 US.
Okay, $795 USD. Considering the King Turtle upgrades the sapphire, the ceramic, and the Jaws connection, that seems pretty reasonable, actually, in today's market.
Yeah, it feels like quite a bit of watch and quite a bit of pop culture history for the money.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive, hasn't it? We started with Spielberg and killer sharks.
And John Williams' iconic score.
And ended up with ceramic bezels and ISO certifications on a Seiko diver. It's such a cool blend, really. Pop culture meeting, proper practical watch design.
It really is. And it kind of makes you think, doesn't it, about how everyday objects, like a watch, can become these little canvases. They carry bits of cultural memory, bits of art, stories.
That's a great point.
This whole thing raises an interesting question, maybe. What other sort of unexpected things out there are secretly carrying a piece of iconic history? waiting for us to spot them. It highlights how design can really tap into emotions and specific narrative.
Absolutely. Just think about that. Something as functional as a dive watch built to withstand pressure and tell time underwater also becomes this wearable piece of cinema history. Every time you check the time, maybe you get a little flashback. You hear the tension, the Orca, the thrill of the movie. That's pretty cool.